if anyone drops in and says hello. I'm just waiting for my chat to connect. For Kizra to go, hello,
I
Mugs.
can't see the chat.
It'll come up. There you go. Hello, Twitch Mugs, says Kizra. Kizra's opted to go for Twitch rather than YouTube for this evening. It's been hard work doing this dual streaming. Because I wanted
John,
to...
just to let you know, your border is still up on your camera.
My border is on my camera.
Like the red bit where you move.
Oh, that's all right, mate. That's just the OBS window. It's not going out live. There we go.
Okay, cool.
That'll make it look a little bit tidier for you.
No, I just wanted to check that it wasn't.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh, that means that I could write secret messages to us then, doesn't it? So if I was to bring up, say, like... Oh, no, because it'll only be on the OBS program. It's not an actual full-on share screen, is it? Oh, well, never mind. Who have we got? WV! Hello, WV! WV fighting with Kizra to become the #1 OLL fan. I'm liking this battle. Is it a war? I don't know. I think they're too good friends to call it a war, but that's how I like to imagine it. Jamie's here as well. Hello, Jamie. He is deeply interested in tonight's topic, and tonight's topic is... That was the point where one of you boys would then jump in and say the title. But
replayability of games. Replaying games.
Yes, tonight we're going to be talking about the replayability of video games. We're going to talk about, and also ask everybody in the chat as well, because we want your involvement. We'd like to know, what makes games replayable? Should games be replayable? Do they all need to be replayable? What games do we play over and over again, regardless of how good or bad or old or new they are? We're going to get into all of that. But first of all, let's say hello to everybody. Good evening, Mike. How are you, my friend?
Yes, I am very good.
Mike is alive.
I'm very busy, but
we have survived. Survived 2025.
I introduced Megan to a new game, and I thought, oh, if she's distracted from her laptop, it'll give me more time to edit. I spent a lot of time watching her play. it's like, right, you play this, and then I was like, and then like 2 hours later, I'm like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get up and do something. So it kind of backfired. She's playing through the Yakuza series now. So
that's a task.
Down that rabbit hole.
See, I still haven't. I keep saying, I mean, I say this about a lot of games, really, but I've wanted to go through the Yakuza series for a long time, as I've only heard good things. But I think it's kind of like with Pokemon now. It's just been so long that I feel like if I was to get back to it, if I go back to it now, I'm going to be at a point where I'm so far behind. But how many games are there now? 6, 7 Yakuzas? Mainline?
Oh, more than 7.
Oh,
so
God.
You've got so you've got 0, you've got 1 through 8, you've got Gaiden, you've got Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, you've got 2 Judgment games, you've got technically there's the remakes of 1 and 2, and then now you got the remake of 3.
Yes.
But to be honest, John, if you want in simple terms, if you have to play 1, yes, I'd say play 0. So
is that a good starting point as well, though? I'm not going to ruin any story if I do get into it and want to do
it's
other
a
ones.
really good. It's most people's starting point, to be fair. So if you have to have only played 1, I'd say go with that one. And to be honest, it's one of those games where it will completely determine whether you are or are not going to play anymore. Like if you do not like 0, you're just not going to like the series. It's simple as that, really.
My next question then on Yakuza. It was at some point all available on Game Pass. Is it still on Game Pass? Anybody know?
I have no.
Anybody know? Let me know if anyone can work that out. And does it have roots? Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say this is the issue with you specifically, John. Is every game you haven't played is like 1 million hours long.
I know.
It's like you can't go. It's not like, oh, John, you haven't played this game, but you can knock out in 8 hours. It's like, oh, every game is like a 50-hour.
This is the thing. I've got Dark Souls on the go, which has unfortunately just fallen off over Christmas. I've got Expedition 33 that I still haven't started. But the ridiculous thing is, I literally work from home as well. So I've really got no excuse whatsoever. But I've got less time for games than normal at the moment. It's really strange. But, oh well. Okay, one last question on Yakuza before we bring Jack in here. Does it have roots in Shenmue? Has it got similarities to Shenmue? Or am I misremembering that?
So, I mean, well, if you're talking about the PS2 original, it's got a similarity to Shenmue in the fact that the English dub is horrendous. So it's got that in common. It's more so like the people who, like, Shenmue was very much a big inspiration for the first game. But it's like it's got like the Shenmue silliness and like the random mini games that have nothing to do with anything. It's very, but it's completely different. There's no like, it's not part of the same universe or anything weird like that. But I think you enjoy it. I think most people will enjoy Yakuza 0 if they haven't played. Though I will say, like, the director's cut has a dub. I personally way prefer the Japanese version, which is what it released in originally. I'm not like a typical like, oh, you have, if you watch an anime you have to watch it subbed, you know. But I think the voice acting is just far superior in the Japanese version, so I definitely recommend that. And it's like, it's set in Japan, so it kind of makes sense. It's made in Japanese, unlike say Ghost of Tsushima, which was made in English.
Yes.
And then it was dubbed in Japanese, so you could make an argument that it would make more sense for it to be sort of played in English despite being set in Japan. So it's all semantics, but the dub is way, I prefer the Japanese version of Yakuza.
I always prefer the Japanese audio with English subtitles. That's how I did Ghost of Yotai as well. So anyway, hello Jack. Sorry mate, just going off talking about Yakuza. How are you this evening, my friend? And how was your Christmas and New Year?
Yeah, I'm good. And Christmas was wonderful. It was obviously Zachary's first Christmas. He got very excited, and he got a lot of gifts, quite a lot. Our living room is covered in presents from family.
Have you not even tidied up yet? Is it that bad?
We have a big box. It's just there's a lot of toys. But he'll like play with one and then go to another, and he started like basically crawling now. So you put him down, and 1 minute he's here, the next he's over there. And it's like, yesterday I turned my back for 2 seconds to have a drink of water, and suddenly he's halfway across the living room.
You wait till the climbing starts, then you'll be diving across the room like Max Payne, like to
bullet time.
We're gonna buy like a dog-proof gate thing to cover our cabinets with, so he doesn't.
No, it gets, in terms of how quickly they'll disappear, it gets worse, especially once once they start running across the room. And then you kind of, sounds horrible, but you kind of become numb to the crying. you hear a bump and then crying, and you're like, be fine.
It just drowns out. Fine, okay.
Come on.
Yeah, he's fine. No, he's good. I'm really excited for him to like. Also, I'm really sad that he's growing up at the same time. But yeah, Christmas was good. I got loads of nice stuff. I got like a Kindle, trainers. I bought myself Clair Obscur, and I have played about 4 and a bit hours. And I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. It's so good. It's the first turn-based RPG game I've played, and I'm hooked like that. I bought Baldur's Gate 3 because I was like, I bit the bullet. I was like, it's on sale. I want to play that next. Bought it. But yeah, I'm currently playing Zelda for OLL purposes, so I'm sort of
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, Zelda has been asked to be put on the front seat, so I've put Clair Obscur on the back seat for a bit while I play Zelda. Zelda's fun though. I'm enjoying that.
Good.
I'm on the Death Mountain dungeon.
Is it your first Zelda, Jack?
I attempted Breath of the Wild. Didn't quite enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Gave it to my mate who bought a Switch. Yes. So yes.
Good place to start. I'm
enjoying it. I like that. I have had to look up guides because I have no clue where to go.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's like, obviously you have the map, but that's it. I just wandering, and I kept when I reopened the game, I kept being in the village. I was like, I got to lug somewhere again. So I was just like,
you got to have the authentic experience, Jack. You've got to call up John, and then John gives you some money over the phone, and he tells you what to do next. That's what you're
the other way around. He's got to give me the money, and I'll tell him what to do next. Surely.
I've got the tab of the guide pinned to my Safari on my phone. So when I need help, I like go to it. It's like, right, I'm on this bit. So now I'm on the boss fight in the dungeon. I've got, from what
they've got a there's a website called Zelda. There's a website called Zelda Dungeon, which is probably the best website for like any sort of walkthroughs on the Zelda series. It's incredibly like robust in terms of even tells you where like heart containers are and
Oh, wow,
items
okay,
and
I'll
things
keep
like
that in
that.
mind.
So it's like probably the best website you can get for walkthrough
Yeah,
type stuff.
Zelda, enjoying it. Very glad I'm doing it. And then when Zelda's done, or I might, for a break, play Clair Obscur. But I can't stop, and I can't wait to play more Clair Obscur because it's just a game that I never thought I'd love, but it is. It looks
Well, Jack,
beautiful for starters.
Jack, I'll say you're safe for now, but I've already kind of got an inkling of what Cheney and John's second game will be.
Oh my
despite
God.
the fact that they haven't even finished.
I'm like about 6 or 7 hours into Dark Souls. No, maybe a bit more than that actually. But yeah, it's all right, mate. I've got a whole bunch of stuff lined up for you as well, Mike. We've got plenty of games to make each other play this year.
John will be. To be fair, John, I think you'll be. It's one you've been wanting. It's a bucket list game for you, so I think you'll be happy.
Oh,
with.
excellent! I'll look forward to that. In fact, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know until I say to you, right, I'm ready. I'm starting the game. Tell me what it is,
right,
and that's it. So I don't want to have to think about it. I want to just have it when it comes. Right. So talking of good games, let's get on to our main topic for the show. We were going to talk about the replayability of games. So shall we start with the question to each of us and to chat as well? What games have we replayed the most, like, ever? Does anyone want to go first? If not, I've got a couple of suggestions. Go on, Jack.
I always go first usually, so I feel like I always go first, so somebody else can.
Fine, I'll go first then. So the game that I have probably played through the most would probably be the original Sonic the Hedgehog, the Mega Drive version, because I've got it on every console and every system and every emulator. I normally find myself probably at least once a year a quick run through of Sonic. Sometimes it might be the Master System one rather than Mega Drive, because obviously the Master System, I probably think that is my favourite game of them all. But yeah, the original Sonic, because you can do it in 45 minutes or less than an hour. But if I was talking about a game that isn't something like short and sweet that you can just run through in a quick session, then probably Final Fantasy VII would have to be the one. Sorry to give a really boring, obvious answer, but I probably play through Final Fantasy VII once every 2 years, once every 2.5 years. I don't know if that is frequent or not. I don't know. What do you call... I mean, how frequently does it have to be to qualify as a game that you replay?
Frequent, once every 2 years-ish.
Yeah, probably more than once a year on the same games quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say probably, that's frequent enough. Like, I'd say 2 to 3 years replaying the same game, I'd say is pretty... In the context of gaming, you've got all these new games, and then you play, like, your comfort game, let's say.
That's exactly it.
Replaying is a comfort game, or a comfort thing, because you know the story, you know how it goes, but you still love playing it. I'd say, because it's like that with movies. You can watch a movie 2 years on and still love it. So I'd say that's pretty frequent.
Yeah, I mean, aside from that, probably Streets of Rage 2. That's a regular. That's normally a go-to.
Love that game. You spoke about it all the time.
At some point every year, there'll be some new format that I'll stick an emulator on, and so you
Please tell me you've played the fourth one, John.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
The
fourth one's brilliant. The fourth one's brilliant. Squid Dude says when they think of replayability, they think of arcade games, and that's quite a sensible answer, obviously, because arcade games are, of course, short and literally designed to encourage replayability because of their very nature. They are designed to be played every few minutes, aren't they? So, WV often replays Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Kisra Master System Sonics. Wow, okay. How often, though?
Wow.
Yearly? Bi-annually? I don't know. Is biannually twice a year or once every 2 years? What does biannually mean? I don't know. I feel I should know that.
Biannually is every 2 years, yeah.
WV's probably bringing Star Trek into the equation. Star Trek has to be watched every year. The motion picture. Not Wrath of Khan. Once a week? I thought that said once a year. WV watches Star Trek: The Motion Picture once a week. Is that like your? Is that like your sleep film, maybe, or something like that? Like, I have like sleep music and stuff. To be honest, though, I have no issue at all with anyone watching Star Trek as often as possible. WV, I think we probably don't have time to go completely off the rails on this show, but we definitely need to do some sort of a Star Trek special, whether that's film, TV, or indeed Star Trek games, of which there are not many good ones. But before I get off on a tangent, Mike, are there any particular games that you often replay, or is that not a thing for you?
During my teen, I feel like there's two distinct periods of my life when it comes to gaming. There's the growing up part and the adult. I'm going to consume everything and get a million platinum trophies, and I'm going to just, do everything. When it comes to like my sort of younger life, my teenage years, I killed any interest in playing Skyrim again. Like, that game is dead to me, because I played it to death to a degree where I could find a way to make it so I could punch a dragon in one hit, by like using exploits and stuff like that. I played every single type of playthrough you could do a million times, and it's just like, it was kind of dead to me. And then The Witcher 3 came out, and then I was like, so like, The Witcher 3 is so good. I don't actually think that I don't think Bethesda games are actually good anymore, because it's kind of made them worse by comparison.
Yeah.
Like, you have this super deep emotional side quest in The Witcher that has no right, has like the writing quality of a main story, and then you go back to Skyrim and it's like, oh, I need 5 bits of Nirnroot, or oh, there's a bandit leader in a cave. Can you go kill him for me? Like, and you're like, oh no, this isn't very good. That's probably why Starfield is what it is, because it hasn't, they haven't done anything since.
It's literally the same. It's literally the same thing, isn't it? Cute Tiger Gem.
But yeah,
Sorry, go on, Mike. I was just going to read out Cute Tiger Gem in a chat. Short and sweet games are great for replaying, especially multiplayer games that can give a different feel depending on who you play with. And I guess that's a lot of it, isn't it? It's not necessarily whether the game's good or not. It's how it makes you feel, in the same way as films and music, isn't it? It brings back the nostalgic memories, of course. And they also play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Good game. Sorry, Mike, carry on, my friend. I interrupted you there, sorry,
One of the reasons why I came up with this topic was actually a kind of very brief conversation I had with Jack, which was a very, very much a disagreement, which was kind of, I thought, what made the topic interesting. And I sort of surmised that I find Sony games, like exclusives, like the modern Sony exclusives, completely unreplayable. Like,
Same.
I have no interest in replaying The Last of Us or God of War. I think Ghost of Tsushima, I think, is different for reasons I'll sort of elaborate on. But I would play that again. I'm trying to think. Uncharted. There are so many games, mostly by Sony, that I have played and have zero interest in replaying. And I know Jack has a polar opposite opinion, but I think the reason is because there's so much guff in those games where you're like, you will spend like 10 minutes walking down a road and just talking, and it's interactive. It's not a cutscene, and you're just slowly trudging along. And on your first playthrough, that's great. You're immersed. You're deep into the whole thing of it. But on a replay, you're like, I just want to get to the next combat encounter. Or I just want to get to the, what I mean? I think the problem is when these games are story first, and they don't have they don't forefront the gameplay. They kind of have this problem where once you've experienced the story, like, there's not as much to be. I mean, I personally, this is probably one of my hotter takes, is I prefer the combat in the original God of War games to the remake, but that's a whole
I thought they're near as damn it the same, aren't they?
Oh no, completely different.
Are they really?
The camera in the original camera's drawn back. It's like a hack and slash. That's more like Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah. It's more chunky in the first one.
Yeah, but I think there's a problem with, in my opinion, with narrative games. I'm not talking about narrative games in general, more so like linear narrative games, because if you go into things like your Baldur's Gate 3 or your Witcher 3 or Mass Effect, you've got obviously dialogue trees, and you've got different interactions and different choices that make the story different each time. And you've also got with RPGs, you have more build variety. You've got obviously all your D&D classes in Baldur's Gate, or in Mass Effect you've got your classes. There's just so many different, not only story choices you can make, but also gameplay choices you make, which I think leads to it being more replayable than, say, a linear typical Sony game. I think the open world aspect kind of makes Ghost of Tsushima more interesting, and the lethal difficulty, if nobody's played it, is one of the best difficulties I've played in a video game. Like it makes the game, like, it's my favorite way to play Ghost of Tsushima. The lethal difficulty is brilliant.
I haven't played Tsushima on the hardest difficulty myself, but to give my opinion on the Sony games, they do seem to get, from time to time, the Sony big first party, third person action adventure narrative things, however you want to describe them, they tend to get a bit of a bad rap after a while. They come out and everyone's like, oh, they're just incredible, best example of the genre yet, and all that kind of stuff. And then once you see past the presentation and once you've experienced the story, I personally don't generally go back to them. So I do agree with you to an extent, Mike, but in a couple of examples, for example, Uncharted, I think these days people look back on Uncharted and don't view it as favourably as people did at the time. But I remember that first Uncharted trilogy, and also the first Last of Us game as well. I absolutely loved those games, and I probably would play them again one day. But I've always thought to myself, and this happens not just with Sony titles, but with a few games, where I play through a game and it is so unbelievably impressive, it's so good, that when it gets to the end, I feel like I've really accomplished something. It's a very satisfying conclusion, and I don't want to go back to it and play it again, because it might change that positive reaction that I've been left with at the end of the first playthrough. So I've only ever played The Last of Us once. I've only played the Uncharted games once, same with God of War, because I don't want to go back to them, because I remember them for being as good as they are. And I think if I went back to them now, with the knowledge that we have about all the other stuff that goes on around these games, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. So I actually actively stay away from them to preserve the positive memories that I have of them. I don't know if that's weird. Is that wrong? I don't know.
Jack? I think you'd still like Uncharted if you replayed it. I think the first one's probably...
Controls are a bit janky now, than what they on Uncharted.
Because Megan hadn't seen any of the Uncharted games, so I played through them a couple of years ago, like all 4 of them. And the first one was kind of rough, to be honest. The second one's my favourite, actually. But yeah, 2, 3, and 4 are great. The first one's the only one that's a bit iffy, to be honest. I can see Jack's itching.
Sorry, Jack, I've been chatting away too long, haven't I? Sorry, mate.
I'll be honest, I am itching. So, me and Mike had this discussion, I remember a few streams ago. I love the Sony first-party games. I've, played through and platinumed all 3 Spider-Man games twice each. I've played Tsushima twice. Yote I want to go back to. God of War 1 I've played twice. God of War Ragnarok I platinumed twice. The Last of Us I've played hundreds of times. But I think it comes to the fact that because I studied film and I wrote my dissertation on the Last of Us series, but from a film perspective, I love linear narrative games. I think that's what I've discovered. The older I've gotten and the less time I have to play games, I've really valued story narrative driven games. Yes, I think, I agree with Mike, the gameplay can feel a bit samey, but I love just inhabiting these characters. I mean, The Last of Us, I remember I bought it. It was like £8 during lockdown. I bought it. It was the remaster, back when they only had 2 versions. And absolutely, I played it in a week and pre-ordered Last of Us 2 immediately, straight away. After I'd finished it, I was like, oh my god, love this. And then I played Last of Us 2, cried, had the best experience. Screw everybody who hated it. It's a beautiful game. I've watched the documentary on all the Sony games. I really love narrative games. And the Sony first party ones, I think one of the reasons I got PS5 was because of all the Sony PS4 exclusive games that I played, and like I had mates who had PlayStation, so it was just. But yeah, I think I've played through The Last of Us, and Molly, she's getting into games more now, which is great because I'll like it's great to have my partner play more games. Like she's playing Little Nightmares 3 at the moment. She loved Little Nightmares 1 and 2. And she's played through the first Last of Us and she really liked it. And then we watched the show together. So that was quite nice for me to share something I love with my my partner. It was nice. So I think that's what I like about those games. And yeah, the story for me, the Last of Us story, I think is so well done and so well written. That's why I go back to them, because I like, playing, and I love the fact that you can play through these stories, because movies are great, don't get me wrong, they're great experiences, but I think video games is the best format for storytelling when it's done right, because you can do so much with a video game and a good story. I mean, look at the Sony first party games. There's a reason, there is so many, is because it's a format that works. Sony have cracked it, and they do produce some brilliant games. I mean, God of War Ragnarok, fantastic. I watched the documentary on the first one, and I loved it. I watched the documentary on the Last of Us games. But yeah, I've replayed The Last of Us, I think, loads. But yeah, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, Mike. If you don't enjoy them and want to play them once, that's fair.
It's not the fact. It's genuinely not the fact that I don't enjoy them. It's more so the fact that I actually loved the first Last of Us. It was the finale was emotional. It sunk its teeth into me. It was I think I've played it 3 times. I think I played it once on the PS3, then on the PS4 I played it, and then when I played it for Megan, she tried to play it and she just didn't. She bounced off the gameplay. Bit too scared, I think. But yeah, it's more of a case of, but I think this is one of the biggest differences between how me and you approach these games. You think of the heights, you think of the incredible moments and the cutscenes and the emotion, and I think of the bits. Oh, do you remember? Oh, like Ragnarok. Oh yeah, remember that chapter with Atreus where you just kind of on the back of an animal for ages, and then eventually you run as a wolf, and I think of all those bits. So there's the stuff that you think of, but go, oh yeah, I want to replay that. I'm just like, yeah, but I have to get it. I'm like, oh, do I want to replay Final Fantasy 7 remake? And I'm like, oh, I've got to get through the crane bit, or I've got to get through the ghost, it's train station. It's it's you think of it more positively. I think of it more negatively. Of that, it's kind of honestly, if this is a more of a I'm not being funny. If you want to put those things in their games, treat them like cutscenes. Let me pause it and skip. If
they could add some quality of life stuff, couldn't they?
If you have games that have accessibility features that let you just skip fights or just put it on easy mode, why can't I have a thing that's oh, I'm gonna walk for 10 minutes? Just press a skip button and I'll just teleport. Yeah,
there's story elements within that bit though, Mike.
You only need the story once though, don't you?
Yeah, that's exactly. I think.
Yeah, I
but then
get
you
that.
could by that logic, then just make no cutscenes skippable at all, because the story. So it's but yeah, I think it's one of the things that makes the games so not replayable to me. And I think RPGs obviously have the story, but they have the build variety in the gameplay, and they also have the aspect of you can make different choices that affect the outcomes, and you can just kill your party members, or you can you have those, or you could just create bonds and relationships with them. I think these are things that sort of take what you like about Sony games, but in my way elevate them in terms of adding an extra layer of replayability.
I think they're not the games I've played the most, to be fair. I've played them loads, but I think the Arkham games, when I read that question, I immediately thought the Arkham games. I bought Arkham City when I was too young. Mum and Dad were there. Mum was like, yeah, you can buy it, it's fine. I had birthday money or whatever. And I was hooked immediately. And I think I've played Arkham Asylum 9 times, Arkham City 12 plus times.
But yeah, when you bring up the Arkham games, I think of punching bad guys and sleeking through the night. I think the difference between a Sony game and something like a Batman, or even to be fair, I think Spider-Man's in a similar category to Batman. Agreed. It's those games are more game gameplay first. The same with
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima. That's why I think Ghost of Tsushima is more playable, more replayable than a God of War Ragnarok, is because you have these big, massive open worlds. You have these, you have this great traversal, whether it's on a horse or whether you're swinging through the, city in terms of Spider-Man, or in Batman, you're gliding, or you're in the Batmobile if you play an Arkham Knight. I think that's one thing that makes it different. One thing that makes those games more replayable to me, like the gameplay. I honestly think when it comes to replayability, gameplay is king, not just in terms of the story-based games, but also in terms of, like, I think one thing I want to touch on before it sort of exits my brain is one thing that makes a game not replayable is if the sequel just, like, destroys it in terms of upgrading the gameplay, upgrading the graphics, the story. Like, when you play a game and then the sequel is just better in every way, like, it is really not tempting to play the original. Like, why would I play... I know, obviously, John's nostalgic for it, but why would I play Sonic 1 when Sonic 2 is better in every way, or Sonic 3 or Mania or whatever? Because, let's be honest, right, John, you can pretend like it's not the case, but Sonic 1 has one good level, and it's the first one.
You are...
But it's like...
Well, that's a bit harsh, but yes, on a technical standpoint, you are absolutely correct. I can't defend that. As a whole package, Sonic 1 is brilliant, but when you think of Sonic, you don't really think beyond Marble Zone, do you, really? Spring Yard Zone, it definitely goes downhill a little bit.
I'll be honest, every time I think of Sonic, I think of the first level in Sonic 1.
But before you destroy my childhood, can I catch up with the chat, please?
Yeah,
yes.
Right, everyone's been chatting away. Sorry, I've missed it. Kisra needs to dig out an Ouya for some reason. I think that was an older conversation, but why would you need to dig out your Ouya, Kisra?
Ugh.
No, an Ouya, Jack.
I remember the Ouya.
We had one at the CAF, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, we had one at the CAF. I got given one from my game days. Talking of that, you were talking about pre-orders, Jack. I was going to give my little anecdote about Ghostbusters. I'll get to that in a minute. Jamie has a category of games that they call their life companion games that they play so regularly, such as Splatoon, Smash Bros, Minecraft, Fortnite, Mario Kart, and Kirby Air Riders. Is Kirby Air Riders the new one? It is, isn't it? Is that a life companion game yet?
The
original
Kirby Air Riders version.
I can't remember what the new ones are even called. WV agreed with you, whatever it was. Then another type of replayability, such as nostalgia, playing a game you had fond memories of. Like for Jamie, it was Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Wow, okay. One of those games that you feel safe or comfortable in if you have a mental health or anxiety when playing the same game can be a comfort zone. 100%.
Yes,
100%.
I agree with that. 100%.
Kisral loved the modern God of War games, but can't imagine replaying them. WV sometimes does, though. Squid Dude claims that modern Sony stuff is barely even a game. And to be fair, you're right, because that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to blend it, I suppose, aren't they? Cute Tiger Gem agrees, life companion games you'll always have a quick game of if you have a bunch of friends wanting a go. Absolutely. WV was thinking that Jack might kick off, and he almost did there with Mike complaining about the narrative context walking sections, which, to be fair, they are very prevalent in those games. Oh, Emily was here as well. Hello, Emily. Emily is working until 10. Well, I was going to be streaming at 10, Emily, so I'll message you. We'll work something out. Anyway, Reynard City's here as well. Reynard City's all over Streets of Rage. And went to a football match. Okie dokie. And Reynard City also enjoyed Uncharted. Jamie, we do need to talk about achievements. That was going to be my next question for the guys, so sit tight on that one. And what else have we got down here? Everyone's very chatty today. Pikmin's on Jamie's list as well. Long RPGs, yes. And okay, well, everyone in the chat's already read the chat as well. Sonic Adventure has a high replayability rank. Kisrol likes the Spider-Man games as well. Reynard City's drunk. And Kisrol wished they'd played 2016 Doom first, because it's been rough going into it after playing Eternal and Dark Ages. They did evolve quite well, I thought, the new Doom trilogy.
Yeah, the Doom games are great. I love them.
Yeah.
Doom Dark Ages is my favourite.
Actually, I would have to say original Doom would definitely be one of the games that I play probably once every couple of years. Because it gets re-released on another platform every couple of years, doesn't it?
I think one of the things I respect about Doom the Dark Ages, though, is because it's so different from Eternal. I feel like you could go back to Eternal because it's a complete. I think they said
it's going back to the first one. That's the tricky bit.
The game developers said a good analogy, which they said if Eternal's a jet engine, then Doom the Dark Ages is like controlling a tank. Like,
I agree.
It's a completely different vibe, but I also think it means that Eternal hasn't lost its spark. I feel like if you say Doom Eternal is your favorite Doom game, which I still haven't played the Dark Ages yet, so currently Doom Eternal is my favorite. It's like it's like your whichever one you prefer, whether it's Eternal or Doom the Dark Ages. I feel like it's a completely understandable thing because they're so different. It gives you a different flavor of whichever you prefer, rather than a straight we're just going to try and up it. I know like the Borderlands series, each one kind of improves the gameplay from the next, and even though the second one's my favorite, I cannot replay it because the quality of life changes they've made and the improvements in the gameplay have been so large that there's so much stuff that I didn't find frustrating at the time that I do now, like going back to them. So I think it's a double-edged sword. I think making sequels better can completely kill your replayability of, unless to be fair, to throw Jack a bone a little bit. I do think the story is one of those reasons to be able to, like, if the gameplay's worse, I think the story's like a hook to get you back to to those games. Because obviously The Last of Us 2 has better gameplay than The Last of Us 1, and you know, Ragnarok has better gameplay than the first one, but the story is kind of, because you want to sort of have them the first part and then the second. I mean, Mass Effect, again, like the gameplay gets better every game, but you'll go back to the first one because of the story. You know, you want to see it start to finish.
I just want to put back in the Arkham stuff. I agree. The gameplay, you know, the Arkham combat has basically inspired pretty much every game series that uses free flow combat since. I mean, Spider-Man, for example, we probably wouldn't have the way Marvel Spider-Man plays without Arkham. So I think, you know, that, and also I love their story. That is what draws me back to them. Is like, I love, you know, going around completely, basically killing, quotation marks, the goons. You know, you knock them unconscious, but they're in like the most awkward pose ever. But I think Arkham, my top two Arkham games for story, I'd say is probably Origins, and I really like Night Story. I know that's a bit, you know, like, that could, you know, I could get hands thrown at me, but Mike's falling asleep at that idea.
I think City's the best one, to be fair.
I think City is the best game overall, but I really like Night and Origins' stories. I think, and the scene where Alfred's confronting Bruce, and Bruce is like, "Who do you see? Do you see a young boy that you took to prom?" Or da. And it's like, storytelling. But I think the Arkham gameplay is great, story's great. Basically, the whole premise of this conversation is replayability is how you want it to be. Let's be honest.
Here's a question. I just kind of based on a comment that I seen in the chat. Have you ever replayed a game years later and it's just not like you remember? Like, in terms of like, you thought it was an amazing game and you replay it and you're like, this is abysmal. Because I mean, we have kind of a running joke in our house where Megan has like all these games that are nostalgic for her, and she's like, oh my god, this game, and every time I play one, it's terrible. And it's not like, and she's like, oh my god, it's my childhood. It's like her favorite Sonic game growing up was Sonic 06, which, you know, that already sets the bar. So it's like every time she shows me one of her favorite childhood games, like I showed our first time we ever met in person, on our first date, I gave her a little carrier bag and it had the Mass Effect trilogy on the Xbox 360, right? So I came out the gate swinging.
What a catch you were, my friend.
And
You took Mass Effect trilogy to her first date, and it worked.
I took it
amazing.
You're giving Megan a story game trilogy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, like, Like every game that she's shown me from her childhood has just been really bad, and every game I've shown her, she's loved it. It's kind of like it's just been
I don't
unfortunate for
think
her.
I've ever. I think if I think a game isn't good, I won't like replay it. I don't, and even games that I've.
But did
like,
you have a
replayed-
game that you like loved as a child that you've gone back to and found out that it was actually rubbish?
I don't think so, to be fair, because like, I guess I was replaying like the Assassin's Creed games a few years ago, and yeah, a couple of years ago now, and I'd probably say like
2's a bit rough to go back as much as that game's like iconic.
Two is a bit.
you know.
I preferred the gameplay of Brotherhood. I think 2 was a little clunky, but the stories. I think the story carries it because the Ezio trilogy is great. But yeah, I'd say a game that doesn't hold up as well as it probably could, or is probably AC2. Even like I was playing the Ezio collection as well, but yeah, AC2 I'd say great story, clunky gameplay. Brotherhood improves upon it, and then Revelations just changed it. And I played Revelations. That was my first AC game, but I'd say the Ezio trilogy, great story, slightly clunky gameplay. I think peak Assassin's Creed gameplay for me, probably the Black Flag to like Origins era. Like Syndicate played really well. Unity was.
Can I give my opinion on
really
the best
well.
Assassin's Creed game?
Go on then, John. If
It's
you say Odyssey, I will.
no, it's Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Can I move on to our next question, please?
Yes.
My next question is, someone mentioned EA Hockey in the chat. I can't let that go. EA Hockey, where you're supposed to be playing a sport, but then you end up just having fights. Yes. If anyone cares, if you've got Game Pass, EA released NHL 94 on to EA Play, which is part of Xbox Game Pass. So if you do want to go and have some 16-bit Mega Drive ice-based fighting, you can do that. Just came across it quite recently.
Have you not played
actually.
any games? I was going to say, just John, quickly. Have you not played any games? Have you got any examples of games that you played as a child and sort of come back to, and they've just not?
About 90% of them, to be honest. It would have been probably, when you get an emulator and you stick a whole bunch of games on it and you go through all your games that you played when you were a kid. And I've said this quite a bunch of times on the channel, but the vast majority of old games are bad. There's not many that really actually hold the test of time. And that's mainly down to, they all have really good design, and the thing is, when I think of old games, I'm talking 90s, obviously. But when I go back to old games, graphically, no problem at all. I'm more than happy to put up with clunky graphics. That's fine. The sound I find endearing going back to old stuff and replaying old stuff. But the actual control system, they're so janky for so many games. And it's really only, the real top tier stuff that's really endured. And I think that's because they are replayable, because their control schemes are good enough to hold up against like modern systems, I would say. So, I have a couple of things. First of all, I've been writing some notes while you guys were talking, and I don't know how or why, but this pen, apparently, if I can get it on my camera, I can't quite, the camera won't focus, but apparently this pen cost £4.55. Emily, have you bought a pen for £4.55, or is this just a label that just happens to have got attached to the pen? Anyway, my main question is, and Jack, I think actually I'm going to have to answer this question for myself as soon as I ask it, because once Mike gets going, Jack, you and I might not get a look in here, so we're going to wind Mike up and watch him go. Achievements and trophies. Do they enhance replayability? In fact, this is a multifaceted question. Do they encourage replayability for the wrong reason? Because are you just doing it just to get points? Does it then stop you from replaying once you have completed all of the achievements? For example, if you get a platinum, do you want to go back to it? Is that a bad thing or a good thing, or is it encouraging? I don't know. Jack, get your words in quick, because Mike's going to go off on one.
I would say, I think trophy hunting is a very respectable challenge, and something that I do not have the time for, unless of course, like Doom: The Dark Ages was quite an easy platinum. I haven't got the platinum because that one bug with the melee trophy, and I've yet to go back to it. But I actually think because I've replayed some games on multiple PlayStation accounts, so I made an account for my dissertation. I've kept it as like an alt account, and I have to say, once I do a trophy on my main account, like I've completed the game and I've got all the trophies. Like for example, the Spider-Man games I platinum twice on two different accounts. I think that does take away some of the replayability for me. And like, I'm so close to platinuming Dispatch. Like I have two trophies left. One of them was bugged when I was really close to the platinum, and it's put me off a bit because it's a tricky trophy to get. Yes, Kisra, there was. It was like when you collect all the melee upgrades for Doom: The Dark Ages, it would bug and you wouldn't get the trophy. Yeah, like Dispatch, I'm like two trophies away from a platinum, but one of the trophies, you have to do 28 hacking levels and you have to play through the whole game. And it's like, I played through that game like 4 times because it was so good. So I think that does take away a bit from me, achievement hunting. I think there's certain games that I do want to get the platinum for that I'm like, right, must get the platinum. Like I did that with Yote, I did it with all the Spider-Man games, God of War, all the Sony stuff. Like Last of Us 2 I platinumed, which was really fun. I think if it's a trophy, if it's a platinum I want to get, but I don't want to do it all in one go, I will tend to like, if there's like a few trophies, like Dispatch, I'll probably jump back in to try and get the platinum maybe a few months down the line once I've played more games, so I don't like, because I want to enjoy it, and I think if I overdo it, at least me, like trying to hunt for these trophies, I get burnt out, and I'm like, oh, I'm not enjoying this as much as I want to. And I think, but certain games, you know, excluding The Last of Us, Sony stuff, Batman, there are some games that I've not gone back to, even though they are brilliant, because, like, sometimes trophies feel more of a slog than they do a reward, in my opinion. And I think, especially when there's like really pointless, like Cyberpunk, I've played about 5-6 times.
Some trophies are better than others, I suppose, aren't they?
Yeah.
That could maybe affect it. Sometimes you want to do it just for the point. Sometimes you want to do it because they're actually genuinely fun to do.
I think some games are really fun platinums, and then others, like Spider-Man, fun platinum. Last of Us 2, tricky platinum, but enjoyed it. All the Spider-Man games were fun platinums, I thought. God of War Ragnarok, I thought was a fun platinum. And I with some games, I'll like check how far in on the trophy I am and like go back through the game and like we're doing the Dark Ages, because I wanted to get the platinum because it was a very easy platinum. I played a level, seen how much percentage I've got, and then I hunted for the missing percentage bits on the map. It was quite an easy platinum, which I'm annoyed why I got that bug. So yeah, I think depending on the way trophies are designed, I think can hinder or improve your replayability of a certain game. That's what I think, at least, because I think some games are brilliant, but their trophies are a pain in the arse, so you don't want to get them all. And then
sometimes they're just added at the last minute by the developer because they just have to have them. Others you can tell they've been thought about. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Exactly.
Go on then, Mike. What do you think? Are achievements good or bad for replayability? How do you see it?
I kind of
away we go.
So I think it's a double-edged sword. I kind of agree with a lot of the stuff that Jack's saying. To be fair, I think there is trophies are great because like, when you look at a trophy list, you see things like Easter eggs are a great one. You see a trophy for getting a specific Easter egg. If you were just playing the game normally, you wouldn't even know it was there. So you go, oh, this Easter egg I've never seen before, and then you look it up, and that's an experience that you never would have had if you didn't look at the trophy list. You know, different endings, trophies to get different endings, obviously incentivizes you to replay the game again and get a different ending, and that might even make you want to go on, say, like a new game plus or something like that, or like a trophy to beat the hardest difficulty. Again, you might even consider playing on the hardest difficulty, but if you're enjoying the game enough, you go through it. So it's very much it's in some ways it can be good, but some trophy lists kind of, I feel like I'm willing to go that extra mile for like a little bit more effort. But when the game the trophies are just absolutely ridiculous. Like I might get all the collectibles in a game, but if I have to the Shovel Knight trophy is horrendous. Like there's a trophy to play through the game in, I think, an hour and a half. There's a trophy to play the game without dying. There's a trophy to play the game without checkpoints. Beat a boss without getting hit. There's like all these just like horrendous, like, you know, like if I see I am not 100% your game if there's a deathless trophy. It seems absurd that someone like me with 130 platinums would be like, oh, I'm not doing that. But like my line is like speedrun trophies. I've only done a few, like the Resident Evil games. I've done the speedrun trophies for them. But deathless, if I have to beat a game deathless, that's never happening. Not doing it. I've not got that kind of patience. But it's like I think they can hurt and hinder replayability. But I think trophies on the whole are a good thing. I think it is an incentive to go that extra mile, and I think it's also like a badge of honor in terms of you look at your. I think gamer score hasn't hit the same way that platinum trophies do, because you have that little extra thing that you get.
It's that one thing that says you've done it.
Getting 100%.
I think it's quite nice to platinum a game that you enjoy. That's why I liked platinum Ghost of Yotei and stuff like that. And I guess you get a platinum just by playing the Telltale games. But John, I have a question.
Go on.
I remember you platinums GTA 5.
Yes, I did.
What would you like in the context of this conversation? How did it make you feel going for that platinum?
It was quite a while ago, and I did have the luxury of it was during the cafe days, so I was able to just leave it running, doing various money making schemes, doing the online achievements and everything, which made it a little bit more bearable. But I think I wasn't doing it because I enjoyed playing the game. I'd already done everything that I'd enjoyed doing in the game. I'd already seen everything in the game, done every side mission. The achievements for completing all the missions, that's brilliant because it's gameplay. But the achievements for like reaching a certain level online, like I think there was one for like reach level 100 online, which is just flipping ridiculous. And the only way to do it is to just farm the heists forever and ever and ever. So I don't think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the satisfaction of the achievement itself more than the act of actually playing the game to get there. And to give another example of a game that I've absolutely hated getting the achievements for, and I don't want to put you off on this, Mike, because I want you to take this challenge on one day. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has the most obtuse set of final challenges. The achievement list is generally brilliant in Rebirth, but there's just sort of like a couple of last final ones, which is just win this battle, basically. But it is the most difficult thing in the game. I have done it now, to be fair. But I hate it when you come up against something that is just so... It's just been put in there just because it's difficult, not because it's enjoyable.
The final fight in Rebirth, in Remake, was absolutely horrendously difficult, to be fair. I have got the platinum for Remake, so I'll give it a go.
For like really laborious trophies.
Go on, Jack.
The Riddler trophies in the Arkham games, like to get the platinum, you have to get all of them, right? And you have to be a masochist to play all of them. I worked with somebody at View who has platinumed all 4 Arkham games, and I'm like, his name was Johnny, and I was like, he was telling me about it when we were cleaning behind the projectors. I was like, he put platinuming the Arkham games, insane.
I have done City.
It's a lot of work for a platinum, isn't it? All platinums generally are hard work.
Arkham City I've done because of the challenges, like the Riddler challenges. The trophies I find easy, but like the Riddler challenges are, especially the stealth ones, like they're very do this specific thing, these 3 specific things that you can only do if like you pray to some deity and the enemies happen to align in a specific pattern where you can do the thing, because if you do anything to interrupt their sort of guard cycles, it'll completely bugger it and you can't do the challenges. Exactly. Those are outrageous. But yeah, I don't want to go on a massive tangent about platinum trophies because I feel like achievement hunting is big enough that it could carry its own sort of show at some point.
Yeah, this is devolving into a basically just a rant about achievements. Maybe we could make that our big topic for next week, unless you've got another thing and ready to go, Mike.
We'll have a look. Unless there's some absolutely huge news that drops, we'll keep it in consideration.
All right.
But yeah, it's to try and sort of wrap things in sort of some sort of bow. Replay like. Honestly, I don't replay games as much as a lot of people, but I think when you've got a game that's either got it, for me, it's two things. It's either length or it's variety. If it's a huge game, but it's got all the variety of different things you can do, if every playthrough feels different, then that will make the game endlessly replayable. If it's short and gameplay first, like a lot of platformers, like 2D platformers, for example, that will also make it endlessly replayable because you can basically smash out an entire game in a couple hours, especially if it's got a really satisfying gameplay loop. Like one of my games that nobody seems to have played, which I talk about all the time because it's incredible, is an indie game called The Messenger. I know Bill said he finished it.
I haven't played that.
But no, it's fantastic. It plays a little bit like Shinobi. But it's more like not Shinobi, like the NES like Ninja Gaiden games, but it's obviously controls like a modern platformer. And there's it's 8-bit, but you can travel to the future, and when you travel to the future, it's 16-bit. And gameplay, not only does the game look different, but the music changes from like sounding like an 8-bit video game to like it's got like a Genesis sort of twang.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
There's even like time portals that you jump through, and as you jump through them, it seamlessly transitions in an instant between one art style and music style and another.
Really cool.
Oh,
in fact, well, I did a video on it on my YouTube channel back in the day. Not that I'm plugging a channel that I don't upload to anymore, but I did. If anyone wants to sort of have a look, but The Messenger's fantastic, and I think that game, I think, not just because I was recording footage for it, but I genuinely think I played through that game about 5-6 times. And Dark Souls 1, actually, funnily enough, is a game I've replayed so many times as well. I think, so gameplay variety and just access, just ease of access in terms of how easy it is to jump in. And I mean, John, you talk about replayability, and you put about 1 million hours into Gran Turismo 7. You know, it's like you play it more than anything else.
To be honest, I suppose, yeah. I mean, it's different, I suppose, though, with sim racing, because yes, I'm driving the same cars, I'm driving the same 40 tracks, but every single race is different. So it's not like I'm playing the same level, because you're playing against a completely unique set of circumstances every time you play the game, which is one of the beauties of it. So yeah, I don't really consider racing games as something that you would replay. And I suppose,
if you're going by that logic, then I've played Destiny the most because I've put in a ridiculous amount of hours.
Let me do a whole special episode about sim racing if you like, guys. We can do it if you want. No,
but if you play a game more than once, if you finish a game and then play it again, you're replaying it by definition. So like,
but it depends on
the whole right.
Semantics of it. Like John has been replaying GTA Gran Turismo 7 like religiously for like since it came out.
Like three,
you can't,
since 1997 basically. Yeah, but then when it comes,
say that you haven't replayed it.
The thing is, when it comes to racing games though, with the exception of a few of the classics, you know, Outrun 2 and Burnout 3. With the exception of the classics, when it comes to racing games, the newer versions always supersede the old games. Like, for example, you would never really go back to play the original Gran Turismo for anything other than just a little curiosity for 10 minutes, because the quality is just one of those things, how it has evolved. It's quite unique in that element.
Sim racing is a very specific niche, though, I'd argue. Like, I'd say you could replay, say, some of the older Need for Speed games, which are better than the new ones, where in a way that you can't play the old Gran Turismo games, because when your game is when
it's stylized, it's timeless.
Yeah, when your game's focus is realism and like the realistic feel of the cars, like I mean, at the end of the day, that sort of stuff like Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport and other games like that are, but the main focus is to make it feel as tangible as possible in terms of how it looks, in terms of how it plays. Whereas something like a Burnout is just trying to be fun and arcadey and chaotic.
Which is why they do get replayed.
Yeah, so I think that's why something like a Gran Turismo doesn't hold up when you play the older titles, because if you go, it's trying to be the top end of realism and stuff like that, and it's just not anymore, because what was realistic then, well, what we thought was realistic is just not, and now it's obviously gotten better. I think in terms of the kind of demographic that like Gran Turismo, like yourself, John, I think there is always, you're always chasing the slightly tighter controls, the slightly better graphics that add to the immersion of what you're going for. You're never gonna nostalgically pick up a VR headset like the first PSVR.
God no! Oh my God!
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Right, we're reaching time, so let's draw things to a close. I mean, we could probably talk about this all night, to be fair, but we can continue our discussions in the Discord, so please do come and join us anytime on there, and we will chat some more. What else can I go on about? To be honest, I don't really have much OLL news for this week. The last couple of days, obviously, with everyone kind of going back to work today, I've basically just spent half of my day doing emails with various sort of traders and exhibitors. Obviously, we met quite a lot of the video game retailers at the Norwich Video Game Market on the 27th last week. And a few of those guys have expressed an interest in coming to OLL 26. So we are making some arrangements with that, and we'll be announcing the first batch of our game traders for OLL 26 very, very soon. You can get your tickets for OLL 26 at the link that is about to go into the chat, if my technology is correct. And Emily, I'm not going to mention the quiz because I might be making a slight change to the quiz for next Saturday, so I will share that on our socials. The main thing, though, that I would like everybody to know about is this Friday we have the OLL Community Meet. It's going to be the first of our regular monthly meets for 2026, outside of our regular events, of course, at the Albion Games Cafe. So if you would like to come and say hello to me, maybe to us. I don't know. Are you guys coming or are you not available? I don't know. I know I'm going to be there.
Yes,
I am coming.
Ah, fantastic.
I've got to come straight from work, so I'll be there around 5:30.
Excellent. So this is, of course, weather permitting. We are expecting it to be good enough to probably just be able to get into Norwich, but we will see how it goes. If there's anything that changes, we'll obviously let you know.
If the weather's bad, I won't.
But yeah, Jack, I don't expect you to drive all the way. In fact, actually, no, I do expect you, Jack. I want to see commitment. Damn it,
that's commitment.
Or at
you
least,
got to earn that.
You know what? If Jack can't make it, we'll live stream him in somehow. We'll get him on an iPad so he can come and talk to us. But yeah, there's no particular activity. It's literally just a chill out social, but we will be filming some shorts and doing a few little questions with each other and anybody else who wants to get involved as well, if you'd like to. We always like to have the OLL community involved in those kind of things. We'll be asking a few questions about like favourite games, favourite consoles, your history of gaming for our online content. So anyone who wants to get involved will be able to do so. If not, just come and grab a coffee. Support GP and the CAF, give them some money if you want, play some games. It will be a fun evening. I will probably be there around about 5:30. We're going to say that it starts at 6. It's going to go 6 till 9. Again, weather permitting. But at the moment, that's what that's going to be. So thank you very much for your attention. And if you do come along, that would be fantastic. Yes, Gizra, sorry, the Discord link did not work. But what I will do is I'm just going to copy and paste it and I'll stick it in the Discord live stream chat and then it comes up on there. But we'll work that out for next time. But of course, yes, that's it. I've literally run out. I'm blabbering now. I'm done.
We on the YouTube channel and on the Discord we did a poll.
Yes, the poll
to determine which people preferred, whether it was collecting their games physically or digitally. And across the board, it was about a 75-25 split, roughly, across both, which was in favour of physical games. So, yes, most people do decide to have their games physically, even though, you know, they're on a strict time limit before it dies and you can never own a game physically again because game discs are going the way of a dodo. But yeah, so unanimously, people consider physical to be the way to go. I'm just lazy and I don't want to wait 3 days for an Amazon package, and I also don't want to get up and take a disc out. Oh, I can't afford Prime. That's not in my budget.
It's $4.99.
Prime.
I'll get it. I'll get it for to catch up on Fallout, and then I'll cancel it, and that'll be about it.
Fair enough.
I had one more thing. A few people were asking, have I decided my stream schedule for my non-OLL channel for Super Jonico for me Gran Turismos. Kisra WV, as you were asking. Sorry that I wasn't on the stream this morning, but I've made a decision with what I'm going to be doing with the live streams on that channel. Typically, it's all on-demand videos anyway on YouTube, but I have recently started testing out some live streams, and the decision that I've come to is that at the moment I'm doing 3 live streams a week for OLL, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, which means that if I wanted to stream for my racing stuff, I'm effectively going to end up, if I'm doing 2 or 3 streams for that as well, I'm going to be streaming every night of the week, which means that I'm not really going to be spending any evenings with Emily or having much time to, sit down in the evenings. So what I've decided I'm going to do for the streams for Super Jonico is I'm going to do late night streams on the same days as the OLL streams, because that also then allows me to, hopefully when we do the OLL streams, I can then say, hey, come back in half an hour and blah blah blah. So I will be streaming usually 10 p.m. until probably midnight, perhaps a lot longer depending how tired I am, but a minimum of 10 p.m. to midnight, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, mirroring the OLL stream schedule. So we'll do the OLL streams, which normally go till about 9ish, 9:30, and then I'll take a break and then I'll do on the other one. So they may be a little bit later for some people, but that's the only way really that I can really can work that out. The other thing is, of course, on YouTube, I've got 50% USA viewers, so that time of day works better for the audience that's currently there. Anyway, thank you for my little TED talk. I'm done now. Any final thoughts, guys, before we finish off for tonight? Nope, right, okay.
Replaying games is great fun.
Yep, it's our first stream of the year, so look forward to a great year. The best year of OLL we've ever done.
Yep.
Lots of stuff to look forward to. Things are going to really blow up and become crazy.
It is. It's maybe. It is full commitment from this point onwards. And I think, we're already 5th of January, so we can now say we are now 4 months and 5 days away from OLL 26, and it is going to go very, very fast. Yeah, that is right, isn't it? 4 months and 5 days. It's going to be great.
We just need to defrost Cheney and figure out. He was going to be here tonight, but he had to go on the late shift tonight because at the place where he works, where I used to work, they normally closed on Mondays, but they open on Mondays in school holidays. But for some reason, even though the kids went back to school today, he had to go to work today. I imagine he's had like 2 customers all day, and he's had to go and do a whole day's work for it. So I hope he's had a good one. I didn't even say hello to him when he popped in the chat at the start of the show either, but never mind. Anyway, yes, thank you so much to everybody who has been joining in the chat this evening. Too many names to read out tonight. It's been good viewing numbers tonight. Thank you very much, everybody. You'll be able to watch the stream on demand on, wherever you normally watch your videos. And you'll be able to see the best of clips coming up throughout the week as well. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see y'all later. Or you might even see me in an hour and a half because I'll be streaming on my other channel. But cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Good night. Goodbye. Take care.